A relationship with the right referral partner could be a game changer for any B2B company. So what if you could reverse engineer these relationships at a moment's notice? Start a podcast, invite potential referral partners to be guests on your show, and grow your referral network faster than ever. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show.
Customer experience as a formal concept and as a formal discipline is kind of a funny thing. There's a lot more buzz around it than there was, say, 5 years ago, but the principles and fundamentals are nothing new. Successful businesses have been operating in the customer's best interest and creating alignment and processes around serving the customer effectively for centuries. And yet, here we are on another CX episode of the B2B Growth Show. My name is Ethan Beute. I host the Customer Experience series here on the show, and I want to share with you 4 consistent themes that have been emerging in dozens of conversations that I've had with leaders and executives, with salespeople, with customer success professionals, with marketers, all around the concept of customer experience as it's thought of and as it's practiced today. How are the best in the business creating and delivering better experiences for their customers every day? If you've been listening to the CX series here on the B2B Growth Show, or you've been listening to the Customer Experience podcast, some of these 4 themes will be familiar to you. And the first one is the relationship between brand and customer experience. I'm now of the mind that the two are synonymous, that brand experience and customer experience can be used interchangeably. And I say that because they have so much in common. Each represents the collective thoughts and feelings of our customers as they interact with our people, with our product, and all the other places that they may come into contact with us. The results aren't just those thoughts and feelings, but they're also the stories people tell, positive and negative, about their time with us and with our team members. Therefore, brand and brand experience, as well as customer experience, are the responsibility of everyone inside the organization. And that's what set me on this journey to have these conversations with so many smart folks. If everyone's responsible, how do we create that alignment? What processes can we put into place? And how can we do this better? Because again, creating and delivering better experiences for our customers is the single most important thing we can do as individuals, as teams, and as entire companies or organizations. I've been exploring this relationship between brand and customer experience in several conversations, and it's pervasive throughout the series. But 3 episodes you might go to on the Customer Experience podcast to go deeper. Joey Coleman, author of Never Lose a Customer Again, on episode 15. That one's called You Have 100 Days to Create or Lose a Customer for Life. I talk with branding expert Kurt Bartolich on episode 8. That one's titled Take Care of Your Brand and It Will Take Care of You. It's not so much about brand building, but about brand conservancy. And on episode 26, I talk with the founder of Marketing Showrunners, Jay Acunzo, about increasing lifetime value and decreasing acquisition by holding people's attention. We do that through episodic and serialized content, and that content needs to have a unique point of view. It needs to be brand consistent. So we talk about brand and customer experience there too. The second theme is the relationship between customer experience and employee experience. They're obviously deeply intertwined and interconnected, but they're also remarkably similar to one another. Prospecting is kin to recruiting. Closing is related to hiring. We need onboarding. We need activation. We need engagement. We need retention. We need to help people be successful, both our employees and our customers. I share some really smart people's ideas about why this matters so much from a business model standpoint on episode 8 of the CX series here on the B2B Growth Show. That one's called the Service Profit Chain. And the primary thesis there is that an investment in recruiting, hiring, onboarding, engagement, development of our employees ultimately results in revenue growth and profit. And there are several links in that service profit chain. You'll also hear more about it on the Customer Experience Podcast, episode 14, when I talk with Samantha Stone. We cover a variety of topics, so that episode is called Balancing Automation, Artificial Intelligence, and Human Relationships. And that human relationships piece is key. The more we build relationships with our employees, the more satisfied and productive they are. And the more they build relationships with our prospects and our customers, the more successful they are and the more revenue we can retain through that relationship. I also talk about this at length with BombBomb's Senior Vice President of Operations, Jonathan Bolton. That's episode 17 of the Customer Experience Podcast. The best customer experience delivers an appropriate experience. Of course, we get into the definition of appropriate experience, but he spent a lot of time in recruiting, talent management, employee engagement, and employee success over the past several years, and he shares a lot of valuable insights on that. When you think customer experience, you need to think employee experience. It is upstream of CX, and better employee experiences produce better customer experiences. The third theme is a hot one. This is human touch versus tech touch. Are we over-automated? Does this process really need to be quote unquote scaled right now? Or can we continue doing the unscalable? When do we automate? When do we personalize? And when do we get truly personal? Those three things are obviously very different, and they have a significant impact on the customer experience. The trade-offs between the two are very, very obvious. The human touch makes a bigger impact, it's higher value, and it can build real relationship. But it's also time-consuming, expensive, and in some cases requires a specific skill set. The tech touch can be done over and over and over again, but it's also a little dumb in that it's based on a rule set unless it's tied to artificial intelligence or machine learning. And those are things that some companies think they're doing, but they're not really. So much of it is actually just automation after all. Automation works over and over and over again while we're sleeping. It doesn't take a vacation. It doesn't call in sick. But I think we've all been on the receiving end of automation gone a little bit awry. And it's not quite as personal, even when you slug in variable data like a first name or a last purchase date or some other detail that lets me know that your message is just for me, but it's not very warm. We need both, and the challenge is to figure out when to get human and when to rely on tech. One thing I will caution is that I feel like we're trying to scale processes that are not yet pushed to their limit. And Jordan Olivero agrees. On episode 18 of the Customer Experience Podcast, he talks about doing the unscalable. Our conversation was titled, Create Delight to Keep Customers for Life, and he shares a number of very specific stories about things he's done as a customer success leader to blend the human touch and the tech touch. Jeremy Donovan, the Senior Vice President of Sales Strategy at SalesLoft, offers some great recommendations on personalization on episode 13, Sales Strategy Mistakes and How to Fix Them. There's no easy answer here, but I recommend doing the heavy lift and staying as personal as possible, as long as possible. Time and attention are an absolute gift. When we can pay them to our customers, the impact can be significant. The fourth and final theme I want to share here is customer control versus company control. This is about expectation setting. This is about available communication channels. This is about choice in general. We've moved past what Seth Godin calls the television industrial complex. Most of us have anyway. The idea is that you buy advertising and sell products. And when it's working, you just buy more advertising and sell more products. You interrupt, you take attention, and you sell products. In the 20 years since his permission marketing was released, customers have taken a lot more control. Obviously, social media and publishing platforms have a lot to do with that, but so does competition. Barriers to entry in so many businesses have become so lowered through technology. We have powerful tools and systems available at very affordable prices, and almost anything you want to learn is available free online. That theme runs through my entire conversation with Drift founder and CEO David Cancel on episode 19 of the Customer Experience podcast, which was titled Why Customer Experience is the Only Differentiator Left. Brian Gilman, the VP of Product Marketing at Vonage, also does a drive-by on that theme on episode 25, Why Friction is a Customer Experience Killer. But the first big appearance of this theme was back on episode 4 with Joseph Jaffe. Is your company built to last or built to suck? When we connected, he had just released Built to Suck, the inevitable demise of the corporation and how to save it. Theme 1, brand experience and customer experience. Theme 2, customer experience and employee experience. Theme 3, human touch versus tech touch. And theme 4, the shift in control away from businesses and toward our customers. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you thinking about? Do you agree or disagree with anything I've shared here? The podcast format is very interesting in that you release all these episodes and conversations, but until you as the listener reach out, there's no real feedback loop. I'd love to know what you're interested in. I'd love to know what connects with you. Email me, Ethan, ETHAN, at BombBomb.com. That's BOMB.com. Or hit me up on LinkedIn. My name is Ethan Beute. It's spelled ETHAN. Last name is BEUTE. Let me know you're listening. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you disagree with. Let me know what I don't see clearly. I am on a mission to understand how the best in the business are creating and delivering better experiences for their customers every day. That's why I host the Customer Experience podcast. That's why I do the Customer Experience series here on the B2B Growth Show. I'd love to know more about who you are, what you do, and what your team is doing to improve the experience of your customers every day. Thanks again for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you.
We totally get it. We publish a ton of content on this podcast, and it can be a lot to keep up with. That's why we've started the B2B Growth Big Three, a no-fluff email that boils down our 3 biggest takeaways from an entire week of episodes. Sign up today at sweetfishmedia.com/big3. That's sweetfishmedia.com/big3.